Welcome back to Switch to Linux. I'm going to close the window before we get started because the kitties have ran away. I was leaving it open for them to look out the window, but with the close proximity of all this, I don't really want to leave an open window on while I'm running this. I'll be right back. I'm going to play Louis Rossmann and leave a chair. Maybe we'll get 700 viewers. Oh. Says only one. I'm pretty sure there's more than that, though. Greetings, everybody. Hello, Ryan. Hello, N.I. Oh, I got hot chocolate today. Not all that much into it, but I just had one pack left in there. Well, technically 2 packs. I put 2 packs into this. So have me some hot chocolate and no cookies, though. I mean, had some cookies before, but, you know. Hello, Sandman. Hello, Liam. So, this week, hey, Piggy Uniform, how's it going there? All right, anyone else on there I know? Let's see. It is getting warm around here. It actually says it's high of 81 today, which sounds about right, and low down around 60. So I don't know, I might actually leave some windows open tonight. That sounds good. My leg hurts, which is very fun indeed. That's not cool. Playing Bed Wars on Minecraft. All right. The little computer. Which little computer? That new computer? Which computer? All right. So, anyway, we have, hey, there's Red Falcon Ron. Cool. Greetings. All right. So, first things first, I've been, of course, as you know, if you've been following my channel, I've been working on minimalism type things lately. And the next thing that needs to go out of this house is... anyone still have VCRs laying around? I do. And I really don't like the VCRs. It's just too big, too bulky, etc., etc. But I have a few tapes over here, which, you know, some old things from like marching band, back when I was in marching band a long time ago. Some footage when I took a trip to California when I was a teenager. A few other tapes here. And I end up just picking up this capture card. It's some cheap Chinese-made thing from, got it from Amazon for like 15 bucks or so. In fact, it was so cheap I had to throw a movie on the order so that I could, you know, qualify for free shipping. You know, if you ever watch Weird Al's First World Problems, you know, you gotta buy extra stuff on Amazon just to qualify for free shipping. I didn't have to buy a puppy. That's good. Hey, Diego, how are you? So, I got this guy here, and of course, with this, there is, they give you this little piece of software here, because, in theory, you should be able to hook this thing up, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista 7, 8, and 10. Yeah, they're definitely marketing this thing out pretty hard. So, you have this capture card here, and I believe this is a, at the top of this here is the software that comes with it, some application made in China. That's a little scary. But here you have this little application CD, so you can plug this into my Windows 10. But you know, the cool thing is on Linux, this guy here, you don't need any software. I simply plug this guy into Linux. It knows what it is. I can open VLC right with it and do a couple little configuration things. Push record while I push play on the VCR, and boom, I can record all of my old VCR tapes onto digital, so that way I can keep a digital copy of everything. So this guy here, of course, you got your capture cards, but this one here is pretty easy. Have an S video line, you have a standard video line, your dual RCA audio. Comes out, plugs into the USB port here. It comes with a little USB extender. I'm not sure, I mean, this is probably not the greatest quality of things, but it's going to serve my purposes, hopefully, to get these VCR tapes onto your digital formats. Should be pretty easy. So tomorrow's video, it will not be live because I have to fit it in between a bunch of other things. But tomorrow's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use one such capture card with a VCR or a DVD player, anything else, so that you can record your and pretty much anything with an output. Actually, even if you had a TV or a cable box, you should in theory be able to use this to record stuff. I'm not sure the legalities of that, but since I don't have a TV, I'm not going to bother looking it up. But anyway, tomorrow we'll be doing this. I've already done the tests. It works great. I'm going to be using my Ubuntu Mate desktop to do all that. So that's kind of what's going to be going on tomorrow. I'm also going to be trying to record some more video footage for the kitchen channel. I'm going to try and record a homemade chili, bread, and if I have time, some cookies. Because I want to make my browser cookies again for the Sunday's tinfoil hat time. We are trying to target on doing problems with third-party cookies, and I want some browser cookies to do that. All right. Dad used to have a VCR. It's now in the basement filled with mold. Hey, all right. I moved my leg. The joint hurts. Ouch. I have video footage of Tom when he was about 12. $50. Scary? Well, I have video footage of you when you were about 14. Red Falcon runs my brother, if you didn't know. All right. So, today we're going to be talking about some googly stuff, because Google is indeed a scary place to be. $50. I'm only worth $50. Come on. You got to crank that up a little bit more. I mean, this is switched to Linux here. I don't know. All right, so we are going to dive on into news here today. If I can find my news panel on, I think I need to clean up my OBS. Leak it. WikiLeaks. You see, I didn't actually pull it out to talk about today, but the NSA finally reported some bugs it was holding on to because it was concerned with shadow brokers leaking even more of it. So they're like, we better tell Microsoft about all these other bugs we've been sitting on. Yay for the NSA, huh? I'd sell that for 10. Okay. Leak it on Pirate Bay. I guess speaking of pirates, I didn't pull this one out either, but did you guys see that this is the peak of absolute irony, but the Pirates of the Caribbean movie is being held for ransom? Yeah, you're right. Open source it. Yeah, Hey, why not? Why not? All right, so we're going to dive in our topics today. Now, there is very little going on in the tech news sector this week. I think everybody's been going on about the malware, but I covered it last week. There's not a whole lot more to add. Actually, we did a little bit there, and I did a little bit on, was it Tuesday? I think I did an impromptu live stream. I forget what day I did an impromptu live stream, but I did one. Of course, making sure the best thing you can do to protect yourself against malware is make sure that you have backup copies of your data. So this is an external hard drive. Well, it's an internal hard drive, but it is not internal to something right now. This runs Ubuntu Mate. It happens to have all of my important pictures, anything that is a difficult to replace data file or sentimental data file is on this, in addition to being on some other drives. And this guy right here, I can plug this in any computer, boot right into Ubuntu Mate, and have an entire operating system to go with all my digital files. And, it's not hooked up to any computer, it's not on any network, anything else, and so that's pretty safe from malware. Pirates of the Caribbean is held hostage. Yes, it is. The ransomees, I guess? Ransomers? What is it? Ransomer? Let's see. The ransomer is the guy who's holding it. The ransomee is the guy who's being ransomed. So the ransomer claims to have all of the footage for the movie and has threatened to release 20 minutes of it every week unless some exorbitant amount of fee is paid. And of course the problem is if they leak it all out online, how many people in this day and age are going to view it instead of going to see it at the box office? And so it is potentially a significant loss. But yeah, that's kind of the what's going on with the pirates. But yeah, it is the peak of irony that a Pirates movie is being held hostage by ransomers. I didn't get big of a hoot about anything related to piracy since the what was it? It was, if you guys remember, like 5 years ago or so, there was some problem with pirates off the Somali coast, and they accidentally attempted to assault this boat that they happened to think was a they thought that it was a merchant vessel. It ended up being the U.S. Marines. Bad idea. Or Navy. I think it was the Navy. Like, it was a Navy warship. They thought it was a merchant vessel. They attempted to attack it. It did not end well for the pirates. There was one less pirate in the Somalia. That was the greatest pirate thing ever. Outside of that, this Pirates of the Caribbean being held hostage, I just think is the peak of absolute irony. Anyway, let's jump on in. So we are, I got off on that 5-minute tangent just to say there's not a lot going on in the privacy sector or in the business sector. So what we're covering, we're going to cover a lot about money and business because there's a lot of interesting things in money and business. I saw the overarching theme for that. There are a few privacy-laden articles, and then the last article group I called out, I'm simply calling okay then. Some head scratchers at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and dive on in. The first article we are going to be talking about in business and money has to do with the student loan. So when you have the student loan system, and we have a student loan crisis, the average American right now leaves college with $35,000 in student loans, but only 12% of people get a viable job. Actually, it's 18% of people get a viable job outside of college. If you go on for an advanced degree, that drops to 12%. And so people are borrowing and borrowing and borrowing because they have been told forever that also, guys, tell me if the audio is choppy because I do not think I've used this animated background before. So if audio is choppy, just say choppy. I'll take it off. Some of my audios are choppy, some of them are not. Not sure why. Have not figured that out yet. But anyway, student loan crisis is a thing, and a lot of it is, we've been drilled into people's heads so long that you have to go to college, have to go to college, have to go to college, and then you end up having all these loans and all these debts. But then the schools will just take advantage of it. They don't think a whole lot of increasing tuition. Textbook companies absolutely go gangbusters, selling books for $300, $300. Not to mention everyone's now selling their own online homework for each individual course. And so, you're looking at $2,000 per semester for books now. It used to only be a few hundred. And so that is kind of that challenge. Well, what happens when all of these people have, can't get jobs and have piles of student loans, and if the average interest payment on a student loan is like, it's like 6 or 8% now, I think. I totally forgot to look up the numbers. And that across $35,000 means you have about a $500 payment, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But what happens is you have these huge payments. Now you're out of school, so your student loans are no longer deferred. You have to start making payments. And I mean, what do you do if all you can find, like, I can walk downtown here at State College and there is like every little business is hiring, but every business is hiring at minimum wage. And if you can get more than 15 hours, you're lucky. And you're not going to pay that. So this report comes from the Consumer Financial Protection, whoever that CPBBBBB, whatever that some of the current administrators want to say. This group is, we need to, get rid of this group or whatever. I think they're all more about smoke and mirrors than anything. I tried to submit reports of these when my mortgage company went totally off the rails on me, and nothing. In fact, if I log in now, it even says everything's resolved, everyone responded, and nobody responded to anything, and I just kind of gave up trying. So But anyway, this is an annual report comes out. So the problem is that a large number of people default on student loans. And so what they do is they try and bring the loans back current through what is called an income-driven repayment plan. And an income-driven repayment plan, or IDR, is when the student basically goes through, or the person, the ex-student, the former student. Is this the same report I was thinking it was? Oh, this one's quite a bit longer. I had the summary loaded up from Consumerist, and I went back over this one. So I've grabbed the wrong report here. Oh, well. I read the other one, so let's just go ahead and go by memory. And it should be linked to this somewhere. I had the 7-page summary that came from this group. So what was happening is, as students or former students were basically falling off the wagon as far as the repayments, what ends up happening is that they can work out a deal and move towards getting things repaid. So then they work on a repayment plan that's dependent upon your income. And so with the being dependent upon your income, then what's going on is that the students or the former students that get involved into one of these plans have a much better chance of getting the loans paid back. But for those people who bring the loans current and do not get into one of these income-dependent repayment plans, they have a 90% chance of defaulting again. And so there's a whole lot of default going on with these. And this is a scary trend that I think the biggest thing we need to deal with is being more conscious about it and protecting our students more. First thing is really truly evaluating everybody's needs and desires, because I have a doctor's degree, and I will tell you, not everybody is for college. I used to be a college professor. College isn't for everyone. And when we push everyone into college, it actually starts to hurt the education system. It's the same problem like when I had biochemistry, our school, we did not have enough people to have a separate majors and non-majors biochemistry. So I went into biochemistry and I had 8 full years of chemistry behind me. By 8 full years, I mean, I had a year of Gen Chem, I had organic, I had inorganic, I had physical chemistry, I had analytical chemistry, and I had all of the biologies, I had animal physiology, I had all of these crazy courses. Then I go into biochemistry. Well, some of my peers in the exact same classroom had Gen Chem and Gen Organic and Intro to Bio. And my professor had to figure out, how in the world do I challenge my majors to learn biochemistry without killing the non-majors? And that's the point, to say that it damages the degree when everyone gets it. And that's why in my state now, if you want to get a teaching job, you can't even get the teaching certificate in the bachelor's. You have to go on to your master's or higher, or you're not even going to be considered, because there's way too many teachers with teaching certificates in the field. And since there's so much competition, they're just, bachelor's degree doesn't mean anything anymore. You got to go with the master's if you want to teach in this state. You know, in my town here, since we have the 3 top employers in Penn State area are Penn State University, the school district, and the state penitentiary. Okay, outside the state penitentiary, which, you know, you have the Neanderthals, bad prisoner. You have all of these doctors, and those that don't get into the university get into the school district. So now we have like 80% of the teachers in our school district have doctorates. Okay, like, you're not going to come out of this and go, hey, we're just going to go ahead and, you know, whatever. So then this causes more problems, that now you have a whole ton of people with 4-year degrees that probably took them 5 or 6 years to get a teaching certificate that can't find a job other than McDonald's, and you might be able to make, 15 hours a week. Now, raising the minimum wage is not going to help. You know who's behind raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour? It's the unions, because union contracts are negotiated as a percentage of minimum wage. They're the ones who care. But if minimum wage jumps up that high, it's going to cause a major recession in the American landscape here. All right, so we have a lot of comments. I have a new comment screen. What do you think? New comment screen? You like it? You like it? All right. Let's let's see. Yeah, Piggy, you do change your icon in your distro. Which, by the way, Piggy, if you want to build your channel up well, I don't know what your goals are. If you just want to have fun, or if you just want to build your channel, or whatever else, but changing your icon every day is actually is not good for it. Just because people don't realize and connect who you are. But I don't think that's your goal. So have at it, man. Pretty cool. I see you're back on the Linux Mint. I hope you are. That's cool. Sweet. Hi, Clayton. How are you? All right, doing IBR right now. In bedroom routine? I don't know. Just looking at your Firefox tabs. I'm guessing this video is going to be long. I have no idea if it's going to be long or not. I actually have quite a bit fewer tabs than I usually do. President Obama did not get rid of his college debt until he became a senator. Oh boy. See ya, Piggy. All right. I wish I could try and get my school system to use Linux on their computers, but alas, I don't know how, and I probably won't be able to try. No, because, you get the Chromebooks and Microsoft coming in with all theirs, and it's whoever schmoozes with the decision maker the most. It doesn't matter. The teacher has to go along with whatever. But that's kind of the problem. I know we have different views on minimum wage, but yeah, we can have a debate about that another time, because it will seriously cause. Oh, okay, I see. Income-based payments. There you go. It will seriously cause a recession if minimum wage is raised, because the people who own the stores who now have to pay the employees minimum wage, they simply pass on the cost to the consumers, and then the price of a cheeseburger goes up to $15, and never mind that. YouTube just pop up and says I'm live. Huh. Hey, better late than never. Hey, Carrie. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at the next article here. Of course, following in on these, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but the Trump administration is looking to end the student loan forgiveness program. This is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this, because on the pro side of this, if we get rid of the ability for your loans to just get completely paid off, then I think that one of the challenges that will happen, like one of the good things that will happen, is people will take responsibility and go, yeah, maybe I may not just be able to just go to college for free, and et cetera, et cetera. But at the same token, we want to make sure that we do help. Now, the bad side about this, the thing that causes concern here is that the purpose of these repayments, the purpose of these repayments is that it's really to help people. So if I really have a passion to be a teacher, and I'm like, I really want to reach inner city kids. Well, inner city schools have the hardest time finding good teachers. And so these federal repayment plans allows a person to go to school, and then you serve in an underserviced population. And as long as you do that for a period of time, like 5 years or so, then you end up getting your loan forgiven. And I think that is a good program to help bring good teachers to underserviced locations. Like I have a friend, I'm not sure he wants to be a teacher anymore, but this used to be a goal of his. And I said, well, you need to look into these programs so that you can get into that idea. All right, so next article we're going to pull out. What? TV screen's going dark. So, okay. I'm going to talk about a few of these types of businesses here. All right, let's go ahead and have a quick look at comments. Musical Neptunes, hello. 80s Apple schmooze most of the way back in schools were full desktops. Yes. Workers are the consumers and can't afford to buy the cheeseburgers they're making. Yeah, and they will definitely not be able to afford it if the minimum wage goes up that high. Not even in college, and I'm learning how college works. Yes, you are, Ryan. I was in the college scene for too long. Hey, Jan, how are you? Is Google taking too much space in our life? Yes. All right, so onto this article here. This is a challenge because, of course, Charter and Time Warner merged. They produced this thing called Spectrum. And what do? Well, they cut some things and they jacked up prices for a whole lot of people in the middle of a billing cycle. Okay, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, we did the tinfoil hat time where I looked at the number of media companies, and there were several different media companies out there. That there's like 50 different media companies on the television networks, and now it's only like, I think it was six own it. Um, and so with that premise going on, this is one of those things that's occurring, is that two of the biggest ISPs, Charter and Time Warner, have merged. What are they doing? Wholesale screwing over their customers, jacking up prices, canceling services, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just crazy. This is crazy. Mine dropped $100 when they switched. Huh, that's cool. I guess there's a few of those, but most places were saying that the bills were going up as much as 25. It might depend upon where you are, where you were, etc. But according to the article here, the majority of these cases are actually going up, and this is a problem. This is what happens when companies merge, because less competition causes them to be able to do whatever you want. So like, I pay like $50 a month for internet. I really would like to switch to a different company. I would pay more to switch to a different company, but I simply have no other options. We have other things that are loosely called broadband internet, but they're not internet that that would do. I can't even watch a simple low res YouTube video on them. I mean, so that's not exactly what we're talking about with internet here. But there's some more challenges going on here, and that's that T-Mobile and Sprint, they're looking at merging. So right now in the cell phone industry, there are only four markets: Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon Wireless, and AT&T. Well, right now, make sure that nothing happens to your phones if you're on AT&T this weekend, because there apparently is a 3-day strike because they have not worked out a deal. So here with Sprint, so Sprint and T-Mobile are now looking at merging. So this would mean that the amount of competition is now cut from a 25% split, 1.4% split. Now it's a 1.3%. And this is a major challenge, because now we're getting closer and closer to more mergers going back together. And so this is one of those major challenges that we have, is that this is occurring. Now, there's another fun little thing here. Thanks to our current administration, this is now apparently going to go on, because FCC's like, yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I need a big coffee cup now with Reese's on it, of course, Ajit Pai, he should just be wearing a NASCAR suit full of all the telecom logos, because that's who's paying him, because he doesn't care. But for those that were not living under a rock 3 or 4 years ago, T-Mobile and Sprint wanted to merge a few years back. Guess what they said? They came back, FCC came back and said, no, you're too big of companies. Now, they can merge, no problem. That's issues. All right, let's have a look at comments here. Right. Hi, Nick. Hope I didn't miss too much. Yeah, I did. I think you missed 2 or 3 articles, depending on when you jumped on. Mine dropped by 100 when they switch. They jacked up Kyrie's bill, though. Kyrie, how much did your bill go up? I'm curious to know. And was this just internet, or was this full TV package deal? Both of you guys. Bill went, some people saying it went up, some people saying it went down. Is this internet package or TV, all-inclusive, phones, all these other things? Let me know. I pay $100 AUD per month for 100 down, 40 up. Yeah, you guys in foreign countries. Don't you guys have in Australia though? Don't you guys have a couple of other issues though going on? I vaguely remember hearing about them, but I didn't get a chance to look into them. Something like excessive amounts of spying on it, or restrictions, or something. I recall something, but I don't know. Scared if my bill goes up, I will not have internet. Get ready for Xfinity Mobile, a 5th carrier now. Sort of ish. Actually, though, Comcast, who runs Xfinity, and Charter, Charter, since they don't have any real overlap in the cable industry, they want to combine together to launch into the mobile market. But of course, I don't know. Maybe Sprint and T-Mobile will merge, and then Comcast Charter will come up with their own Xfinity Mobile, and we'll be back to 4. I don't know. We'll see. Uncarrier, totally. Yeah. Okay, bundleless TV, phone, and internet went up. Okay, exciting. All right, let's see. This is, I think we're starting in on privacy. No, is that privacy? Did I get stuff out of order? Oh, no, you know what? I wanted to move this over into privacy, and I never did it. Move into privacy. I don't know where in privacy that's supposed to be. Why is this still here? I got something out of order. I got to look for something here. Oh, I know what I was supposed to do there. I was supposed to see if I can pull that back up. Menu bar, history, recent tabs. I wanted to go on a little rant here on something. So this one here, I kind of wanted to have. Was it this one? This article? So I kind of wanted to do a little complaint here. Because back on this T-Mobile Sprint article, the reason I pulled the consumerist version of this rather than the Bloomberg one is when you go to the Bloomberg one, let's see if it does it for me again. No, this one was the one with talking ads. Must be another article. I must have taken it off. But I had an article here that was kind of frustrating because I pulled up the original article. And as I pulled up the original article, I got a giant annoying banner, like an overall pop-up box on it that the X did not show up to close it for about 10 seconds. And so I had a window open with some big pop-up box overlaying my screen. I couldn't see anything on there. Now, here's the thing is that Google has some new SEO algorithms that they're trying to cut back on annoying pop-ups, primarily on mobile devices, but on other things as well. And the problem is with a lot of these sites pushing so many of these pop-ups, what's happening though is they're coming back and saying, we want to get away from this and we want to do blah, blah, blah. But the problem is these are mainstream media sites. Mainstream media sites are going behind paywalls. Mainstream media sites are giving you annoying pop-ups you can't get rid of, particularly if you're running ad blockers, etc. It is the mainstream media who are causing most of the advertising abuse. Why do they get a free pass when other sites get downregulated? We need to stop visiting the mainstream media sites. Fox, NBC, ABC, the Communist News Network, the Washington Post. They're not real journalists anyway over there. Liberal psychos, maybe. But we need to stop focusing on those guys so much. So I want to do a little rant on that. I had my comment list them here, but I must have not have saved that particular article. So the last one I want to look at here is IBM. IBM is telling thousands of remote employees to come back to the main offices or find new jobs. So this is an interesting article. The reason I kind of pulled this out, I did some work-at-home tech consulting for a huge company. Now, they were a smaller startup at the time, but then they were bought up by this huge company, and they had hired specifically a lot of people with masters and PhDs to do some of this remote work because we were talking directly to college professors, and they thought that would be a whole lot better system than college flunkies trying to tell a chemistry professor why our software is better than the next guy's software. And so they wanted to have those. Now, all of us one day suddenly got at least we had about a week's notice. Our manager, they didn't give him any notice. They pulled him into the office and laid him off in one day. Like a manager of a company. They didn't give him an option. Now, he was very nice and called all of us individually that day to say, your days are probably numbered. They just let me go today, but you guys are probably going to be off in a week or so. So we had like a week's notice. But you know what? The average American is like one emergency from bankruptcy and living paycheck to paycheck. And this type of stuff here, what this is it's kind of borrowing a playbook from, I want to say it was Yahoo also did this. They have all of these remote employees, and basically they're saying everyone's got to come back to work for the main office, and this requires a move. Well, a lot of these people, these guys aren't making $50,000 a year. And they have to move into one of the big cities like New York or Austin or Charlotte. Where's that list of cities? But the problem here is, okay, Austin, New York City, Atlanta, San Francisco, Cambridge, and Raleigh. All right. Try living in those cities on $50,000 a year. It doesn't happen. So basically what they're doing is they're not officially laying anybody off or firing anybody, but they're kind of saying, well, you have to start moving towards our company within, I want to say they only gave them like 90 days or something, or find a new job. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's a way that they can cut their costs because it's going to allow them to drop out. This is automatically going to get rid of a whole lot of their employees who are simply going to quit because they can't afford to uproot and move to one of these major cities. You talk about like New York City. If you're not making $100,000, you're not going to live in New York City easily, And the same with Austin, San Francisco. San Francisco average income's like $100,000, and they're not offering these people pay raises to move these big places. It's the same exact job. It's like, if you want to keep the job, you got to move to one of our offices. I don't know about the cost of living in Raleigh, Cambridge, or Atlanta, but I assume that those are pretty high as well. So this is a way that you can cut back some of your employees without actually having to lay anybody off, because they're going to lose a whole lot of people. This is the next big thing we're going to see in companies, is forcing them to make a move that they cannot financially do, and so they're forced to quit the job because of that. And this is a challenge. This is a big challenge. Let's go ahead and have a quick look at comments over here. An issue with NBN, Google Fiber got laid out. It's all good now. All right. Okay. Now, I thought there was something in the politics of the internet down there. I dumped for the second DVR and dumped the movie channels. If I dump cable TV itself and just do the internet, which is actually fast, and I can go down to 77, and Hulu, Netflix, I'll be under 100. Yeah, I don't pay for any of those. You can get like last week's programs for free at view.yahoo.com. And if they don't offer it for free somewhere, I'm not interested. There's nothing that's going to make me pay extra for a subscription service or pay for a television. I pay $50 a month for internet, and that's about it. And I can grab a whole lot of things on YouTube and a whole lot of things on view.yahoo.com. And then there's other cool things like top documentary films, if you like documentaries, and you got TED Talks, and Mike Cody has a ton of cool, fun things. We need the ad page up. I think we need Contina for that, maybe. I don't know. Or we need my schedule to clear off because I have like 100 different little things. That woman, by the way, that was bothering me in that video a couple weeks back. Yeah, like a couple days back. Oh, that's become crazy and nightmarish. Today, I think 150,000 messages came through. It was like a beat fest. But I can't exactly turn off the notifications. Just leave that Skype group. I think that's what I need to do. Hello, Damiano. How is Canada today? GGTV is a news propaganda network from China. GGTV. CGTV. CG. I don't know. Hey, Kamlesh. How are you? Does your browser have no script plugin? Would avoid some nosy third-party spies. No, I generally don't, but I keep third-party cookies turned off. I got this gnat flying around. I gotta track it down. So no, I don't specifically run NoScript. I'd use the Ad Blocker Plus just on this browser and my main work browser, but I generally don't run them otherwise. And I disable third-party cookies, so that's about what I do. Hey there, Lion and Lamb. How are you? People really still paying for cable TV. Yeah, but it's scaring the cable industries as they worry about cord cutters and cord nevers. Like, I'm a cord never. I had one apartment one time that free cable came with the place, and I plugged a TV into it once because I had a friend over who wanted to show me a TV show, and then I promptly unplugged it because I don't care. I haven't watched much of TV since the late 90s. I can't say I miss it. New government don't want to do fiber to home. They want to do fiber to the node. Don't you have a TV? I do have a TV. It is hooked up to a Raspberry Pi with my Kodi install. I can watch my movies on it, and I can stream some stuff into there. In fact, you can't see it because it's kind of along the wall, but I actually ran Cat 6 line to my Raspberry Pi last week. Sweet. It's battling the Wi-Fi internet of the neighbors, and so, yeah, Cat 6, that'll do it. Barely watch TV anymore. Nothing really on anyway, except for reality TV shows. Yeah, how about non-reality TV shows? I think, like, Law and Order is more reality than some of these reality TV shows. And then they douche them up to make them look all like, I don't know, superstars. Yeah, I'm the cool guy. And then you have all these copycats trying to imitate, I'm the cool guy too. And yeah, never mind. Hey, Dr. Rob, how are you doing? I am doing very well, Lion and Lamb, thank you. I'm a cord cutter since 2009. All right, I missed my shows from the 80s and 90s. You can buy them on DVD. I have the entire Full House collection on DVD. It rocks. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at the next article. I think, oh, lordy. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and keep that pop-up right there because we're going to jump on over into privacy. All right. This is the exact type of thing I'm talking about. Now, this one here, the X showed up right away. The other one I was looking at today, the X did not show up for 10 seconds. So I had to sit here with this stupid thing on for 10 seconds. So I just generally close the browser tab. If I'm actually working and doing research, these things here, once I see a pop-up like this, I just close it. Don't care. All right. So this is exciting. This is actually something that came up in my conversations with a friend today. And we have this big problem talking about cable, DVRs, etc. And there's this big problem that TV systems like TV stations, broadcast stations, all these are having a problem with. And that is like, okay, there's like this big giant house. Go somewhere else. Never mind. You're dead. Okay. It's like, I can never understood bugs. It's like, there's this giant room. Go fly anywhere. Like, I don't kill spiders around here, unless they're really in my way. But it's like, why does the gnat have to buzz right here? It's like, no. Buzz here. I don't care. Buzz here. I don't care. Buzz back here. I don't care. But right in front of the eyes. Hey, Fidel, how are you? All right. Anyway, back to this. The challenge that the TV networks are having is that people will DVR their programs and then skip through the advertising. So, of course, with all the big data collects the information and sends all of this information out to various people. And so we have to figure out exactly how to make all that stuff work. So what do? Product placement. Why not? More product placement. All right. So basically what's going on now is that what is ramping down is TV commercials, and what is ramping up is, let's take 2 minutes of silence for the poor insect. I'm pretty sure that the kitty is taking more than 2 minutes silence for the poor insect. All right. Anyway, that's my moment of silence. If I go 2 minutes without saying anything, half of y'all are going to leave. And, I don't want to do that. All right, so what's happening now is that the TV channels, the TV programs, the movies, they're getting more into good product placement and way more into good product placement because people are skipping over the DVRs. Now, does product placement work? Absolutely. In fact, there was a sunglass company called Ray-Ban is it Ray-Ban? Or maybe that was the model of the sunglasses, but these things were like not good sellers, and so they gave them out to movie props. Well, that was the sunglasses that Tom Cruise put on in Risky Business, and sales of sunglasses went up 800%. Think about that. When the Doors movie came out, that shirt was out of print. They weren't making it anymore, but people ravaged and tore apart thrift shops everywhere looking for a copy of that shirt because he wore that shirt in that movie, and it prompted the company to re-release it. So that is the power of product placement inside things. So, so product placement, Dave Ramsey, but, let's see, product placement, cheap Chinese stuff. But at the same time, product placement is a huge thing, but they're getting bolder with it. We're getting more combining, you're having the characters in the movie now selling cars. Like how they managed to use Captain America to sell Audis is telling me that Captain America is no longer cool. I don't know. But anyway, I found a very intriguing case of this. This is interesting. Insight. What does this have to do with anything? Well, of course, you guys know that the blah, blah, blah day is like totally manufactured, usually to sell stuff. Well, raises awareness for myeloproliferative neoplasms as part of Rare Disease Day 2017. I've never heard of Rare Disease Day 2017, but apparently it exists. Of course, it exists to sell stuff. And so this is one of the things that's happening. So Insight, it's an interesting thing. They're raising awareness for this. So myeloproliferative neoplasms, of course, is a type of cancer. And with this type of cancer, it's so rare, there's only one FDA-approved product to treat it. And would you like to know what company makes it? Shockingly, Insight. Now, here's the funniest thing. Where are they putting this Insight product placement? I pull this out because this is my mother's favorite program. General Hospital. They literally have a character right now on General Hospital who has this disease, extraordinarily rare disease, to raise awareness of this, which is product placement by this one company to sell a drug. Now, this is the press release from the company. This is a doctor's opinion of this, which is actually an interesting read. This is from JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association. And he is kind of coming out and saying, yeah, this is probably a bad thing to put product placement for rare fatal diseases inside of things like General Hospital. What? But anyway, General Hospital, longest running U.S. soap opera. Basically, they have a character diagnosed with having this disease and a blood clot. She explains that the PV is a myeloproliferative neoplasm. Okay, so myelio meaning like nerve sheaths, prolific meaning it is growing, and a neoplasm meaning it is cancer. And so basically, this is a line from the TV episode. But this protocol sounds like you're treating the symptoms of this cancer. How do we beat it? A moment later, she expresses further concern with the treatment pros. That's it? I have to keep going to bloodlettings the rest of my life? Okay, so this is an uncommon cancer, 1.9% per 100,000 persons. And basically Insight is a U.S. pharmaceutical company with only one FDA-approved product for treatment of MPNs. Is it very possible that this is the same company that started the internet, the rare disease day? Like, do we really need another rare disease day? Do we really need more of this stuff? But this is product placement where it's getting really, really sneaky and really, really creepy. Kind of weird. Wow. All right. Fatal. I'm on Linux Mint now. Sweet. Linux Mint rocks. I'm a fan of tech discussions. Awesome. I'll suggest some websites. You can send it to me in messaging. I'll have a look at them. Captain America was never cool. That character himself was a product placement to find new troops. This is very true. This is very true. I guess he could never be cool. Well, I don't know. Wasn't he frozen in ice? That would be cool. I don't remember his backstory. It's about a very important topic that I studied for the last 4 years. Necessary to express without giving up. Hey, wickedly split. Wickedly split, I guess. Cool. Greetings. Welcome. Oh boy, another fun privacy video, or another fun privacy one. This is fun. Bank sends out tax forms and personal identification to wrong customers. Whoops! That's actually funny. In a not so funny way. Now, I remember when this type of big data stuff was first starting to occur, and like, remember when Cellular One was a company? I had Cellular One back in the late 90s, and I remember getting my bill one day, looking at it, going, what is up with this bill? It had my name on it, but nothing was right. Well, come to find out, there is another person that shares my name, and I got his bill. Complete with the full printed social security number on it. I think I actually still have it in my archives, in my file archives. But I'm like, this is kind of concerning because somebody sent this bill with somebody else's full social security number on it because he had a Cellular One account and I had a Cellular One account. And how many Tom Morosky's are there? Well, that's kind of scary. In fact, it was it someone else? I recall something else going on. It was like I don't know. I forget exactly what it was, but I was filling out some paperwork and I filled everything out. And they're like, your social security number's wrong. I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, I know my social. Let me verify it. Make sure I didn't do anything. Oh, no, everything's right. Oh, no, we think the social security number's wrong. No, this is my social security number. Would you like me to come back with my card? Well, it says it's this. No, that would be the other guys. Get your records straight. Well, in this case, this guy here, this bank here, they have like, I forget how many branches. Okay, 600 branches, 8 states, several million customers. Oh, you know what? This is the article I wanted to go to. This is the article I wanted to go to that gives you this big pop-up. Chicago Tribune. Let's see if it still gives me the pop-up or not. Maybe it does not give me the pop-up because I already have the cookie. So basically they have, what is it, 2 million customers. They don't know how many customers were affected, but basically their records got sent out to completely wrong people. And this is concerning, especially when companies are collecting more and more and more and more data. And this is why we have to be very cautious about the data that we are collecting, that we are giving out, because just because a web form pops up does not mean you have to enter into information. And just because you're in some office filling out some paperwork doesn't mean you have to fill out the information. You know, I just took the poor little kitties to the vet to get poked and prodded by some mean person with a needle. Oh, they didn't like it. But you know, they give you the patient intake form, whatever. I left half the thing blank. Like, no, you don't need my address. No, you don't need no like email address. No, you don't need my cell phone number. No, you don't need that. But how many people do we get into the habit of just sitting back and going, oh, a form was handed to you, just fill it out, and that causes a lot of problems because if you're over here doing on something on a smartphone, and think back to youth who are not as well trained in this stuff, just because some pop-up form goes up, if you've taught somebody to blindly and unconsciously obey authority, you are teaching them to blindly and unconsciously give their information to somebody through some contact form. Just because a form popped up, enter your email here, doesn't mean you have to fill it out. You'd be a little smarter. All right, so this is just kind of funny. And I think we want to get on to... Oh, this was neat too. Google received 1.6 million NHS patient data on inappropriate legal basis. I wonder if this is before or after the hospitals were all shut down by WannaCry. I think the article actually came out. The article actually came out after WannaCry was going down. So maybe Google helped restore the data. So... what's going on here? Of course, Google, they were doing something here. I should have read this article a few more times. Basically, they had this DeepMind, which is, some AI study and research group. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to come in and do some research into patients, like looking at signs, symptoms, attempt to build AI to diagnose and treat disease. And what ended up happening because of this is they had to hand over all these full medical records, and full identifiable medical records got sent to Google. That's kind of scary, people. So that is kind of a little concerning, keeping that in mind. Of course, in other more security/privacy things, if you happen to have a Vine account, understand that your full account information may very well have been leaked. So this is actually the press release, I think from Vine or whoever owns Vine now, whatever. But basically, there was a scripting error somewhere, and it allowed people with certain accounts to access email addresses and phone numbers associated with Vine accounts. Guess what? If you're using your phone number to two-factor authentication in to various accounts, now somebody can link your phone number and your email address. If they just purchased your identity from some, black hat hacker online, now they can go in, use your identity, spoof your phone number from your carrier, because you can track down what the carrier is based on the number, and then they can go in, two-factor authentication in all the accounts they have on you. So do not use your phone for two-factor authentication. It produces a very, very big weak link. That's how a lot of high-profile hacks were done. Oh boy, back to comments. I can't use Linux without the AUR. Why so? I am very good Wickety Split. Always underused repository. Okay. Security reasons, I use a BlackBerry for some of my personal data. Can't say that I've ever gotten someone else's phone bill recently. Yeah, I mean, that was 15 years ago. 20, I think that was... How old am I? Oh, that's about 19 years ago I got that. Why I don't do social media. Tried social media years ago. Ended up with 5 different accounts with bogus information that I couldn't share with anyone. Yeah. Is WannaCry gone away? All right, WannaCry. I guess people want to hear about WannaCry. So here's the latest on WannaCry. First, if you had an XP computer that was affected, shame on you. But if you did, there is a kit that will allow you to decrypt your files on XP. If you happen to have WannaCry impacted your XP machine, you can get that kit online. As far as the input vector, we still do not know. Last time I do not know how the input vector was. They're still assuming it got in via emails, probably spear phishing emails is probably how it got in initially. But once it gets onto a network, it scans any networks or any internet connections for an opening on port 445. So if you have port 445 open on a Windows computer, you would risk getting the WannaCry virus. The original strain is completely shut down. It will not impact anybody. However, once it was shut down, the hackers re-released a version of the script that is not as easily impacted. If you have a Windows machine, just make sure it's patched to make sure that you do not get it. If you are on Windows 10, WannaCry would not affect you, I'm pretty sure. It was mostly the XP, Vista, and Windows 7 computers that were vulnerable if they hadn't been patched. But actually the vulnerability that WannaCry took advantage of was actually patched. This is the one, if you recall the video I did way back in March about Microsoft not updating Samba client fast enough, that was the one that was patched. They missed the March patch Tuesday. It was finally patched in April's patch Tuesday. If you had updated your computer since the April patch Tuesday, you also would not get it. So the only people that WannaCry really impacted were the people that had an unpatched XP, Vista, or Windows 7 computer. So that's kind of what happened. Don't blame on us because we switched to Linux. Amen. I did some checking on my computers because I still have a work computer, Windows 7, and this guy, Windows 8, hasn't been booted on this computer for a long time. So I still have those, and I went ahead and scanned my port 445. My port 445 is blocked by the router. So if you had a router level, then you probably would never have any impact of WannaCry if you have a good home router that blocks incoming, outgoing connections on a good firewall. It was mostly businesses and networks because what happened is one network, but it had a hard time getting out of networks. And so while it was bad, it was not so super bad. But if you were like on an open Wi-Fi network, you could have gotten it. But I don't take Windows computers on those. If I'm traveling, I only use Linux computers on those. So that's kind of the latest on WannaCry. It didn't make me want to cry because I'm using Linux. Yes, for those people, there are ransomware on Linux, but not as pervasive as WannaCry. What about Google Authenticator? If you want to authenticate your Google, you should get a YubiKey. Let me grab one. Basically just plug it right in and this will provide your two-factor authentication. Of course, if you are running things on an Apple, never mind. And if you have an Android phone, invest in one of these guys, as it will convert a USB to a micro USB so you can actually use this on an Android phone as well. So Google uses these. You do have to use Chrome. But once you factor authenticate in on one computer on Chrome, you should be able to dump Chrome and go with everything else. So if you want to do that, go ahead and use these. If I think of it, I will put a... Okay, is audio still on? Audio back? I think I bumped the microphone. Okay, we should be back now. Okay. I need to get a new cable. I need to get a new cable for my microphone. If I bump the desk the wrong way, it'll go off. I'm just going to wait a second, see if audio comes back on. Let me know if audio is back on. Audio back on? Yeah? No? Yeah? No? Okay, good. I'm not sure where I cut off, so I apologize if I repeat it. Because I might have bumped the microphone when I turned around to get that, which would mess it up. So I have a YubiKey here. These are what you need for good two-factor authentication. So it's a big, nice, sturdy USB key. Plug this guy into any device, and this will allow you to use two-factor authentication. I will go ahead and link these at the bottom of the video. Let me make a sticky note to remind myself to do that. They cost like 15 bucks, I think. All right. So that's how you want to do two-factor authentication. And then you just, you know, and I think it's still a fairly new thing, but I think it's a fairly new thing there. But as people start looking into these more and more, we're going to start to see more stuff over here. All right. So that is that. Let's go ahead and have a look at the creepy story of the day. Let me finish up comments up real quick. All right. Yeah, Gene Doe, I said send them to me in private message, so I'll review them. I'm not going to click on the links I see coming up right here. I got my show pretty planned, and we're moving good time, but I'm not going to stop in the middle because I want to make sure I vet things up. All right, let's see. Check out, okay. I am not checking out your sites over here, and they are going to disappear. Send them to me in private message, and I will look at them at my convenience. All right, so this one here. This is interesting. So this came from the Google event. So we have this problem apparently that we're not sending out our photos. So you go to that drunken party and everything, drink, we're not getting our drunken parties quick enough because our friends just keep forgetting to post our drunkenness on Facebook. So Google is trying to fix and remedy that problem. So it's utilizing facial recognition software to detect that multiple people are in there, and then now it's giving you a notification so you can see what it's doing here. It identifies the people who are in the photos. This is creepy, people. It identifies the people who are in the photos and suggests that you send them the photos in a message. I want to run for the hills. This is scaring me. So basically what they're kind of saying is that people are not, I guess, following through with a promise to send photos of events. And I just, the stalking capabilities of this is shockingly weird. Maybe reverse stalking, but do we really need this kind of stuff? This is the type of automation that causes us to lose our brain cells and allows us to run into some issues. And so with that being said, I'm concerned when I start seeing stuff like this. As far as as I've been moving more and more towards minimalism, I realize the power and the significance of manually doing more things. So I even got rid of the regular coffee pot. Well, I hid the regular coffee pot and using a French press because it just feels more deliberate. So I go and I make my coffee and it feels a whole lot more deliberate that I'm making the coffee in that manner. That as far as making backups and keeping files on hand, it's more deliberate how I'm doing things. I'm deliberately making copies of files. I know what I have and I know where it is. I'm not relying on things up and down and left and right. And this is the thing that we're talking about. You know, we want to be a little bit better with, we want to be a little bit better here with not relying on individual services to do everything. Actually, the comment just popped up. Zero Nogan. Okay, so he says, I take photos with a real camera. Real camera. Now, the shocking thing is that this camera does not take photos nearly as good as my phone, which is a weird predicament in our world. But the thing is, the thing that we encounter is that one of the things that I talked about on my digital media management video last week was that as we think of the photos, like I used to go out, and if I'd go hiking or I'd go out and do something, I'd take a real camera, snap the photos. You come home, you take out the camera, you plug the camera in, and then that day I'd have my photos organized. Which folder does it go into? What is the date of it? So all my photos are organized by the date and by the basic topic. Dump all the photos in there, clear off the card, and set the camera down for another time. But now that we all walk around with these smartphones, our photos become disorganized, and then they become cloudified, and then like we may or may not lose our photos, but I'm trying to think of the long-term consequences. What happens when you have 700 photos that you really like, but you don't want to pay the extra $200 or $300 to get the 64 gigabyte phone instead? Well, all the rest of your photos are hanging out on some cloud service somewhere. It kind of becomes sloppy over a long period of time. And so we need to stop worrying about that kind of stuff. That was kind of the this is concerning me. I'm not sure why it's concerning me as much, but it's just kind of more random. It's more automatic. It's more, hey, I've snapped a photograph with another person in it. I better photo identify who that person is and suggest that you send it. Now, send it, 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 send it. And then you find yourself at the mercy of notifications. Wow. All right, let's have a look. Couldn't fail me up to a point. That's why I keep at least 2 backups of my information on 2 drives off-site. Yes. So we should take a copy of our drive and either put it in a safety deposit box or at a friend's house or something else. That way you have a copy of your data another place. What if they build this into Android? Gasps. What if they already are? De-Googlifying may not be a word, but you get my meaning. You know, the one article I kicked off is that Google was trying to sue somebody to, actually they were successful, sued some people who were registering domains with the name Google in it, like Google My Doctor or something or whatever. And the thing is that the ruling was that Google is not as mainstream. But I think that once we start using Google as a verb, as in I'm Googling at 30,000 feet, then I think that you've already lost it. But regardless. All right. Don't take photos with your phone. Okay. Real cameras are pretty cool. Software on mobile phones and hence the quality of pictures. Yes. And location tagging. Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like, is all the location tagging. Hello, Mars. First time I saw you. Most people do it without even realizing it. That's the problem, is that once all this stuff gets to the point where we are no longer, doing things, we lose intentionality in our life. And you know where intentionality leads us? I haven't got to find something. Hold on. Looking for something. Can't find it. Oh well. when we lose intentionality, something happens. When we lose intentionality, I'm going to go on fire here, because when we lose intentionality, we lose track of our life, we lose track of our budget, we lose track of our spending, we lose track of our eating, we lose track of everything. And all of this tech, like these Google photo things, is getting to the point where all of it is to get us to stop being intentional. And when we stop being intentional, that is when our life will truly spin out of control. All right? We have to learn to be intentional. Intentionally build up a budget. Intentionally choose. My mic cut out again. Intentionally live on a budget. Intentionally learn to plan your food. Intentionally learn what comes in your house, what comes out of your house. This is the thing that you need to do, is learn to be intentional. And all of these services like Google, all of these services like smartphones and smart apps and smart this and smart that, smart everything, is getting to the point to remove the intentionality of our life. And when we remove intentionality out of our life, we happen to spin out of control. And that is what happens when we lose intentionality. I was looking for my lighter, and then my mic cut out again. I gotta do something with this cable. I think I might do that today. Figure it out. The last thing I need is for the mic to go crazy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Also, you're giving Google permission to use your photos. Yes. We don't own anything anymore. This is true. This is true. Getting off Windows illness has really made me more comfortable. Thank you. Hey, no problem, Mars. I'm glad to be a help. Sorting these photos is why I use the camera so much. It's so easy to dump the photos on a directory, quick tag from a card, which lets me build my personal photo album. Yep. The mic is on fire. The mic is about to get fired. We're living where we don't own our photos. Yeah, that's crazy. The mic is also mad at Google. Yes, zip tie the cables. Well, it's not a problem with the cable. The problem is, and I can't show you because if I pick up the mic, it's going to do it again. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to show you the challenge, and I'm going to turn the mic on. So the mic's probably going to cut out again. Okay, so we should be back. So you can see how loose it is going up and down, which just seems to be a problem with how the interface is working. So I just got to get that resolved. Probably just the wire that's bad. So that's kind of it. Admitting. So it's bad to mention Prism after it's published about. Is it bad to mention Prism after it's published about? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know. All right. So this one's interesting. Boston Globe, it disables articles when your browser's in private mode. You have to log in. Gotta log in. Or at least you have to allow the thing to set cookies on your computers. And this is kind of moving towards that trend of big data, collecting more data, collecting more data, collecting more data. And so with all of this data collection going on, everyone's getting to the point where they want to collect everything. So the challenge is that they want to store a cookie on your computer. Privacy mode will not allow a cookie to be on the computer, although the website can still log you're there. A lot of things on the private mode, there's a lot of misconceptions. What is private mode? Well, private mode itself is... all it does is it restricts the cookie access to the computer. That's all it does. And anything beyond that, not too concerning. So don't get on privacy mode thinking that you're going to be able to do something stupid like, try and hack or something dumb like that. But just realize that all it does is it interfaces with cookies, which does prevent sites from cross-connecting to you. back across different things. So that's the thing to keep in mind. So with that being said, what they're doing here is with this, without the third-party cookies being able, or even the first-party cookies being enabled due to privacy mode, they're not allowing you to view anything. You either have to log in, or if you do turn off private mode, you can still see the articles because they use cookies to determine how many articles you viewed. So you can just go into your cookie manager, remove your cookies, and then you're set to go. You can watch more of them. But it's just kind of crazy that you can't even view the articles if you're in privacy mode. And this is, this is the Boston Globe. This isn't some little small website somewhere. This is those big sites. And this is the problem. This is why people are moving more and more away from these, because of those very issues. Oh, hello, Stephen. Love your channel. Thank you. Well, thank you, Stephen. Welcome. I think this is the first time I remember seeing your name, so welcome. And I already talked about that one. All right, so I've saved our funny, hilarious articles for the last ones. This is under the very exciting topic called "Okay Then." I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. Just assume that we take will show up online. Yeah, what we take will show up online. Yep. Fact that they are private photos seems to be an alien concept. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the same concept like, we're just doing this to give you a better user experience, or to target you with better commercials. I don't want targeted with better commercials. You show me the commercials that are relevant to my video if I'm watching a video, or that you like to throw in an affiliation with this thing. You want to put Coca-Cola or Marlboro cigarettes in some Superman movie. You enjoy yourself. But I don't care. But if you want to start to narrow target me to the point where you want me and coerce me to buy your stuff because you're figuring out what my weak points are based upon my search history, I'm going to show you my favorite finger, sometimes referred to as a cardinal or something, and move on somewhere else. It's kind of crazy. And I was using my Orbot on my phone. Couldn't read any articles. Yep. That's the thing, is they're getting, because they want to collect that data and they want to have the cookies on there to pass that data everywhere else. Self-destroy cookies. Nice. Anything electronically recorded should automatically be assumed it's security breach. Doesn't even if they have names attached to data anymore, as long as they have the statistics. That's pretty much the case, yeah. In fact. All right, so here are the two that are just okay then. All right, first okay then article. Gas station cheese sauce linked to dangerous botulism outbreak. Okay then. I don't really have anything to say about this. I just thought that article title was flat out hilarious. Gas station cheese sauce linked to dangerous botulism outbreak. Maybe we should stop buying cheese sauce from the gas station. Oh. Apparently, Sacramento County health officials are in the midst of investigating a possible illness in 5 patients recently hospitalized with foodborne botulism, rare but serious paralytic illness that can be fatal, caused by a nerve toxin produced by the bacterium Clostridium botulinum. That is believed to have spread by nacho cheese sauce served at Valley Oak Food and Fuel gas station at Walnut Grove, California. I think I've been to that gas station. That's the scary part. Huh? Yeah. Huh? That's right. Whatever. Family of those confirmed cases now suing the gas. How do you sue the gas station over defective cheese? What, did they intentionally pour botulism in there to poison you? No. Said she picked up a bag of Doritos at the gas station on April 21st. I'm going to cover on my cooking channel, I'm going to cover a whole lot more of these food. I might have a food news day because of how many things are recalled. Realize like I see food recalls almost every single day. It's like plastic pieces and organic lettuce. How do you get like metal chips and organic? How do you get metal chips and organic lettuce? Huh? Gas and cheese. Yeah, that's gas and cheese, huh? Family says she picked up a bag of Doritos at the gas station on April 21st on her way home, then drizzled them with cheese sauce. Partner says within hours she felt fatigue, complained of double vision. The next morning she went to the hospital, was sent home. Hours later, she was throwing up, had a hard time breathing, so she went back to the emergency room. She's put on a ventilator the next day, intensive care unit. Well, sue the hospital. You already went there and they sent you home. Don't sue the gas station. I mean, unless it's clear that they did something stupid. Although maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Gas station cheese sauce linked to dangerous botulism outbreak. I just had to say that a couple more times. Yeah, this is freaky. You know, I made some baked chicken today, sautéed with some perfect spices, and I took real butter and doused them in vegetables, not the other way around. You know, more butter, less vegetables, and covered that with some nice fresh cheese. And then I made a flatbread out of raw ingredients. It was awesome. Yes, this is a very cheesy article. Levaquin pills. Levaquin makes everything all better. All right, the last article. I saw this one. I just knew it had to be on here. I just didn't know where to put it. And this inspired the okay then section. She bought something to eat at the gas station. Enough said. Yep. Robert Lustig has a lot to say about this. It's like, why do we buy food at the gas station? But, you know, yeah, we do. Here's an app. You can download this app from Silicon Valley, and you can point it at something, and it will determine if it is a hot dog or not. Huh? On iTunes. Let's see if this is on Google Play, too. That'd be fun. Inquiring minds want to know. Bummer. Like, I'm not seeing it on Android. All right. So, here we go. App is designed for both iPhone and the iPad. Is category food and drink. You can point it, you can basically point it at something and you will determine if it is a hot dog or not. And then you can even share it and all this kind of fun stuff. Isn't this awesome? I gotta see more by this developer. Oh. Just the iPad and the iPhone apps. The reason I wanted to look this up on Android is I can see a whole lot more about it out of the gate, like particularly the privacy. Is this not just something that can snap a photo? Like, is this not just some way for them to do this? Because, realize that these apps, the app developer, whoever controls this, they can take control of your camera. They can take control of your microphone. And notice, what is that? A share button? Well, you know what the share button does? It links it to social media. So now we have another way of data tracking through some stupid app that some people are like, oh, really funny. Wouldn't it be hilarious in 2-3 months if we come out and find that this thing's just one giant piece of spyware built in, but all for the fun novelty factor? A bunch of people download the Not Hot Dog app on their phone and fully embedded spyware under their phone. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Now, there's some intriguing things about this. I'm going to leave the more vile people to talk about the one application. However, I would really think that this is, I mean, obviously it's a joke type thing. But the fact of the matter is, if anybody needs this to determine if something is a hot dog, they're absolutely brain dead. If anyone does this for the novelty factor, I think that you're risking a lot of dangers and a lot of issues. And I'm going to leave it at that. But here's the thing. We talked about these apps not too long ago. With all of these apps for phones and tablets, all these things do is they allow us to be tracked more and more and more. This is an application that can track down all of the stuff about us, and we're simply downloading them. No other reason. Kind of makes me want to download it and hook the thing up on Wireshark or something and figure out what's going on. Scary. More data for Skynet or Google. No, I think you meant Skynet. Sky Google. Oh boy. Sounds like David Letterman. Will it blend or not? I wonder if the John Oliver show is going to do something on this app. It sounds like it's right up his alley. You can't tell the difference between a hot dog and a shoe, then you are truly lost. Yes. People are covering their cameras with stuff, but not doing anything about more easily incriminating microphone. Yeah, well. I mean, for me, I don't talk a whole lot about just. I'm not always in the close vicinity of my phone, but I do always block mine off. So I got the camera covered front and back, and I covered it in a nice way that's very quick and easy to bink if I actually need to take a photo with it. Of course, I goofed up right there. I assume maybe every couple of weeks I'll have to replace those, but now I can lock it down and lock it back up. So I did that. But yeah, I mean, if we are constantly around our phone, we might want to consider blocking the microphone. I do actually have... This is plugged into the laptop that I usually have on. This is a audio plug. Plug it into a microphone, and it blocks the microphone because it triggers the hardware that says to the microphone, there's a microphone plugged in. Which I could actually very easily put on my phone. It might actually do the same thing. That'd be neat. Yeah, I'll get a few more of those. What is the name of that video by Michael Moore, Chater? Or Matthew Moore, I'm sorry. New World Government. But I don't recognize a hot dog. I don't know. I'm thinking that black thing in the hot dog container is probably a hot dog. It's a different kind of hot dog. It's like green ketchup, you know. My thoughts on Linux security and its reply by Edgy. Windows. Oh, I actually think I responded to that video on Tuesday. Was it? No, Thursday. I think I responded to that video on Thursday. Which I kind of, I mean, I agreed with some of his points, but some of his points were not actually all that accurate. Why is that still logged in? Huh. This one here. Let me see. Is that the one I did?
What's up, guy?
Yeah, I actually responded to this video on Thursday. Let me go. Hold on. Let me go back to that. Okay, so here is the video that was talked about there. I'll go ahead and link this one. Okay, so that's the one video, and give me a second and I will find my take on that video, because yeah, I actually thought that the video was he had a lot of incorrect things on the video, we'll put it that way. There were some good things too, but there were a lot of incorrect things he said. Video manager, and that is what I had to say about it. And I actually, about halfway through, I was kind of rambling through some stuff, but that's good. Just take out the battery. Well, you can't take the battery out of an iPhone, and you can't take the battery out of some of the newer, you know, new feature, including exploding battery galaxies. But I blacklist my webcam module from loading the kernel just in case powers of B decide to switch it on. Yeah, that's something you could do. What about other battery? Can't you take that out? Web is how much legit to talk equally? I don't know. Okay, CBC Marketplace had a piece about free apps. Yes, I actually highlighted that as well in a tinfoil hat time a while back. That is an awesome video you should watch. Find it. No, not that. Copy link location. This is the CBC Marketplace video. Check that one out. That is absolutely awesome video there. All right. I think we've been on for about an hour and a half now. I think that it's probably about time we wrap this up, land the plane, so to say. So thanks everybody for hanging out. And let's see, what do I have coming up? Tomorrow, I will show you how to use a cheap Chinese equipment to record a whole bunch of VHS tapes onto Ubuntu Mate, utilizing an old VCR. Yeah. I've already done my tests. It seems to work just fine, so we're going to do that. Sunday, planning a tinfoil hat time. Probably going to talk about third-party cookies. I've not completely determined that yet, but chances are that's what we're going to do. And let's see. I think starting next week, I'm not sure. I should have the rest of next week's schedule figured out by then, however. So you can check out the, if you want to help support the channel, you can check out the Patreon page. And I actually posted on the Patreon page the first video for the new channel coming up, which is specifically dedicated to home cooking without gizmos and gadgets. And I'm going to be working on a few more videos for that, hopefully recording a few more pieces of footage. But that's kind of what we have going on there. So hope to see you guys again soon. Check out that video tomorrow for screen capturing on Mate, and Sunday live, probably about 9 o'clock, tinfoil hat time live. So with all that being said, thanks for watching everybody, and have yourself a wonderful evening.